Hey guys, welcome back to Tea Time with Tati. I'm your host, Tatiana Rocio. I have missed you guys. I know it has been a long time. I'm here to actually fill you guys in. I mean, as you guys know, I am a childhood cancer survivor. I had a benign tumor when I was younger, before the cancer when I was at the end of sixth grade, 12, and then a lot of medical issues after that, as I had chemo and radiation, brain aneurysms being the latest that's happened within the last like 2.5 years. Well, it's been a while, so I apologize that I have not done a podcast. Um, but after my last brain surgery, I did have a few complications, not horrid ones until recently, but I was feeling very congested on my left side. And normally my problematic area is more on the right. My tumor, my benign one, was on the right side on the outside. Then my cancer was on the inside. I went completely deaf from the cancer on my right side. I do have hearing. I do wear hearing aids now on both sides. But when I started having the problems on my left side, I was a little scared because that's not usually what happens. I was not hearing so well. I felt very congested in here, a lot of pressure. I went to the ENT. They said, "Oh, you're fine." I was like, "Okay." They said, "Your ears are dry, this, that, and we can do this. You try that." And I mean, those things did help a little bit, but they didn't get rid of the problem. So there was, I would say, toward the end of 2025, I can't remember exactly which date, I did go to the ER twice in 1 week because I was just very anxious. I was just not feeling like myself. And because anger and stress could be something to trigger aneurysm, of course, I was like, "Can you guys do a CT scan? Just make sure I'm okay." They did, and they said, "No, you're fine. No new aneurysm formed." And they let me go. And I was like, "Okay." Then my primary doctor told me there was a mass or something, showing up in my CT scan on the left side of my brain. But that was never brought up. I went to the ENT. Again, they said, "No, you're fine." And, based off of the notes, what we do want to take a look at is on my thyroid, I have a nodule that has grown based off of what did they do? Ultrasound. And it had not grown a lot, but it had grown. So they were like, "Let's do a biopsy." Now, the biopsy, I didn't have to get put under anesthesia, which is great, but they just put like a local right there, like anesthesia type thing. And I was awake and they took a sample. And unfortunately, that came back abnormal. So, of course, I get scared because when I hear that, they're like, "We will probably want to remove that because inside of there could be an 8 to 13 or maybe 15, something small chance of it being the C word." Now, as you guys know, I have survived. So, hearing that is like, my brother survived it. My mom is fighting it and surviving it. And unfortunately, my dad passed away from it. Out of five of us, 'cause I have two brothers, I'm the oldest. And then I do have a younger sister when my dad remarried. But out of all of us, there's only one of them who has not had the C word. So I get scared when I hear that. I'm like, okay. But then, the last Thursday in January, I want to say it's the 26th, but whatever, just the last Thursday of January, I had called my mom very early in the morning. She didn't answer. And I called my stepdad. I was like, "Papa, can you tell mom to answer her phone? Call me. I am not feeling well. So he runs by my mom, wakes her up, and my mom, whenever I say that, they're on it. My family, my friends, I have an amazing support system. So thank you guys. God bless you guys. I'm constantly praying for all of those who pray for me, who are looking, and even those, if you ever need prayer, that's not the only reason I pray. I love to pray. You guys, please message me. I love to pray. I'm not just saying that. I have seen mountains move. When I say through prayer, I have seen the impossible happen because of prayer, because our God is a mighty God. He's an awesome God. He really is. All right. But this is going to show you what an awesome God. This story is to hopefully encourage you guys to not give up, to talk to Him, to build a relationship. Above all, a relationship through praying, fasting, reading your Bible, just spending time with Him, because it's not about religion. It's about just believing in the unseen and just believing that there is something greater out there. There is. And let me finish telling you the story. If you don't believe, then let's go ahead and let's talk about it. But this, I had gotten taken to the ER that Thursday because I was just not feeling good. I had a blood pressure of 202/98. Your blood pressure should be 140/80 or lower. Not too low, but lower than that. Why I got sent home that day, I don't know, but I did. And so we go to my mom's house, and maybe not even 15 minutes later, I'm laying on her sofa because I still don't feel well. Now, I do not remember this day. This is the story. This is what happened. This is what my mom saw. As far as me, I cannot tell you a thing that happened that Thursday. The only thing I remember is calling my mom and calling my stepdad. I do not remember getting picked up. I do not remember going to the hospital. I do not remember anything from Thursday. So I'm laying on the sofa and my mom's talking to me, and all of a sudden she hears like a gurgling noise. She looks at me and I am like starting to change color. Like I'm not breathing, change color. I'm kind of turning like that pale blue that happens when you're not breathing. So my mom starts to like freak out, and she does, starts praying and starts trying to like get me to respond, pushing on my chest. And she calls my pastora, and then like everybody's praying because that's what we're doing, right? And the pastora is like, give her CPR. And she does that. And that is when I start to kind of breathe, right? Like on my own. I'm still not responsive. So she calls the ambulance, and the ambulance got there really fast. And they saw it was a seizure, but also said it looked like a heart attack. So normally I get treated at Freighter in Wauwatosa, but with them being farther from where we were, they said the closest one is going to be Aurora for her heart. We need to get her there now. So they rushed me over there. Now, mind you, I still do not remember absolutely any of this. I guess at some point I was conscious, where I was responsive. But I still can't remember any of it. Now, what they do, because when they want to figure out what is going on, when they did CT scans, I guess, they also saw the mass and they wanted to see what was going on. They were trying to rule out, and they had to do a spinal tap. Now, for those that don't know, that is a needle that they inject into your spinal cord, in which you have to sit very still, and they remove fluid to test it. I hate these. Now, being somebody who has had brain issues, my problematic areas, usually from the neck up, I I dread those because I've had so many of them. Sometimes I even postpone me knowing I have to go to the hospital because I know I have to get a spinal tap, and they scare me because they hurt. And yeah, so they asked my mom, and she said yeah. And she looks at my daughter and she says, Tatiana is going to be so mad at me, but we have to do this. Now, I am 5'2". Yeah, people look at me and they're like, oh, Tati, she's so small. Yeah, but I'm strong. Yeah, why do we think I'm still here, Because there's a little warrior in here, that's why. And when I am scared, even under anesthesia, I have flung grown men off of me. And this was one of those situations where they were not able to do that. And I did have to, unfortunately, get tied down, and they had to put me under anesthesia. So I also did have like patches all over my head to make sure, like however they do it, to make sure I didn't have another seizure. I was being monitored in ICU. I had patches all over like my chest and stomach area to make sure that there was no heart attack that was happening. So within all of that, that was all of Thursday where all of these things happened. I cannot tell you none of that. This is all told to me from my family and my close friends that were there. I mean, when I tell you I love my support system, I mean, I love you guys. I really do. Thank you. Thank you for all of those that just support anyway. I don't care. Nothing is too little, too big. I mean, my love for you guys is seriously, I pray for you guys constantly because I'm that grateful. These are the type of things that help somebody to push through when you're just going through these situations. I want to continue to be able to inspire you guys that it could get hard. You could be dragging, but God really has a way for us. And when I tell you guys, yes, this has been a lot for me. I break down. I mean it. I'm human. This is not anything easy. But when I woke up, I was in the ICU and I obviously didn't know what was going on. And I woke up and I was like, where am I? What's going on? And luckily, my mom was right there. So she was able to rush in by me and calm me down. And once I saw my mom, I was like, okay, then I calmed down. Then I felt like, okay, tell me what happened. And then they're telling me. So I was in the hospital for a week. I mean, then they told me that the brain infection that I had, because it was so there for so long, it turned to meningitis, which is an infection in the brain, and it had spread pretty much everywhere. I mean, you could even tell because by the end I was smelling an infection, When I breathed, I was like, there's something wrong, something's there. And it was even to the point where certain words or pronouncing certain letters were getting hard to even talk. And I was like, what is this? What is going on? And so we were able to now, obviously, with the infection being gone, which you can still kind of see. So I had the infection treatment while I was in the ICU, and I think at that time they did 4 or 5, and then I had to go home and continue treatment. And yeah, that treatment, because it was in an IV, it would even hurt. Oh my gosh! So they had to change the dose. I mean, there was a lot that happened, right? And you would think this is the end of that, right? Now, Tati, you got that treated, you're back, right? No. So there is a remaining liquid around right above like the eardrum now. when I lay down, this is usually when that liquid starts to, come down, and I have to put like tissue paper in my ear. Now it's not an infection, it's just from I had so much liquid in my brain that it's going to take, they said it usually takes about 90 days for it to come out. And of course, that scares me because you see that no, there's no odor to it. It's not an infection. It's just to the point where I'm just like, I don't want to get another infection. God, is this okay? Is everything fine? And you have a million questions, and then they had me see a specialist because it's the M word. It starts with the M. I don't know. I forget because the medical terms are hard sometimes to remember to even pronounce. And the best way to describe it, it's like an area that kind of looks like Swiss cheese. And as long as that hasn't been broken or ruptured in any way, your ears should be able to drain out any of the liquid, right? Which mine hasn't been, but he's still going to talk to my neurosurgeon and just make sure that everybody's on the same page because mind you, this is all team effort, right? And I'm just like, okay, awesome. So if I do need help with getting that liquid removed, then that would require a surgery. But as of right now, thank God, I don't need a surgery. But we're going to go back to the nodule on my thyroid. Unfortunately, because that has abnormal cells, in about 2 weeks, I have to go to the cancer center because they said something, I forget the percentage, very low, but they don't want that to form into the C word, or it has small amounts of the C word in there. And I have to go, and most likely I will have to get that surgically removed soon. Of course, it's very draining because having to deal with the C word. I've already done this. My family, unfortunately, I lost my father to it. Now, from what the doctors say, that out of the C words, the easiest ones to treat are thyroid and skin. I was like, okay. But if they do that, unfortunately, then I will have to take a medication for the rest of my life. Does that suck? Yes. Yes, it does. Would I rather not have to do a surgery? Of course. But whatever it is, I've gotten through it. I will continue to get through it with God. So I hope my story motivates you guys not to feel down and depressed and be like, well, no. You have to think. There's so much stuff that's going on. The world, this is hard right now. The whole entire world is going through some kind of something right now. So build your relationship with God. Hold on to your loved ones. Those that love you will understand, will stick by you, will help to uplift you. Don't give up. I'm going to continue to work my hardest, even though I also lose motivation. I'm also like literally this morning, I just sat down and I just put my hands out. I said, God, give me the strength that I need in order to fight this battle. I get trained. We all do. We're all human. But this is why our community, church, God will help us when we just feel, I can't do this. We will get through it, guys, together. So if you guys need prayer, please reach out and let me know because I know it's hard. And I know you guys can feel it in like even when I talk, you guys can see and feel that I am just tired. I'm not giving up because I'm not doing that. I'm I'm here for the long haul. I'm here because I'm like, God, whatever I gotta go through, I'm glad it's me because I know that I'm not sitting here looking at God and saying, if you loved me, why am I going through this? I'm like, God, because you love me, help me go through this. I speak life. I look at it in a positive way. Not always. And when I'm just like, oh my gosh, I can't, then I call somebody that can just help me speak positive words, pray with me. So if you have those friends, hold them close, tell them you love them. Because life's not guaranteed for any of us. We're not here to live forever. We're not. But that time that we are here, make it count, make it worth it. At the end, make it a story worth reading, talking about. Like, I did that. I love you guys. God bless you. I'm saying this. Let's keep fighting. Let's stay strong. Let's continue our good walk, okay? I'm not done with my stuff right now, but am I giving up? Absolutely not. So I love you guys. God bless you all. And I mean, there's more to the story, but I just wanted to give you guys the basics for now. And then I will fill you guys in with the next chapter of Tati's life because my goodness. If you guys have a story you would like me to share, please reach out, write it, and let's talk because I want to help encourage many other people going through things because this is what life's about. So, we're going to talk about that. Then, I'm also going to talk about God's been putting other things for me to talk about. So, excuse me, a little hiccup there. So, God bless you guys. I love you always. Thank you for tuning in to Tea Time with Tati. And I promise I will not go as long as I went without recording a podcast because that was a really long time. I was looking, I couldn't even get my equipment to work the right way. I was like, wait, how did I do this? But we got it to work. It took me hours, but I did it. So I love you guys. Tune in next time to Tea Time with Tati. Bye. God bless you. Love you guys. All right. Now I have to stop it. Okay, bye.